Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to discuss about derivatives in some more detail, and today we are going to discuss about futures, forwards, options and swaps. In previous video I have given you a brief introduction about what is derivative and what are its types. So in today we are going to go into some more details. So first of all, I would like to give you a quick recap about the previous video. In previous video, we have discussed about what is derivative and its types. So the types of derivative is financial exchange and over the counter, and derivative is a financial security, any kind of security which deriving its value from the underlying asset or a group of asset. Group of asset can be the index, as I have given you the example in previous video. So before wasting any time, let's get into the details. So today we are going to discuss about these four things: future, forward, option and swaps. Let's start with futures. So what is future? Future is an agreement between a buyer and a seller of the contract that some asset, such as a commodity, it can be a commodity, it can be a currency or index, which will be bought or sold for a specific price on a specific day in the future, and that is expiration date. So let me try to give you an example about this. First of all, future is an exchange traded, so there is involvement of exchange and there is no counterparty risk as such. So suppose this is an exchange, there is a person X and there is a person Y. Now the person X needs, suppose, cereals. Here I am taking an example of a commodity. So person X needs cereals after 3 months at 200. So he will give the bid quote on the exchange that this is my demand. So there is a person Y. Who also wants to sell the cereals after 3 months at 200. So he will give the quote at exchange, on exchange. After this, the exchange will evaluate the demand and supply concepts, and he will try to match the seller and the buyer. So as you can see, there is the involvement of the exchange, and exchange is the central counterparty. So this is the crux of futures contract. So what is day trading future? So it doesn't mean in future that in case of the, let me show you the previous slide. So okay, so in the previous example what I have shown you, that there is a company, there is a person X and Y, and both of them want cereal, and there will be the delivery which will take place. But sometimes what happens, that actual delivery won't take place on the exchange. What the person is thinking, that suppose in that case that the X is thinking that the price of cereals would shoot up. So he thinks that right now the futures price is 200. It means that he will buy after 3 months at rupees 200 for certain amount of cereals. But at that time he is anticipating that the price will shoot up to 250. Sorry for this. So price will shoot up to 250. So what he is trying to do, he is trying to gain from the price fluctuations. He will buy at 200 and he will sell at 250. You can think in this way also. So what he is trying to do, he is trying to gain from the price fluctuation rather than thinking about the delivery of cereals after 3 months. So this is the another way, and this concept is for day trading future. So day traders don't trade futures contract with the intent of actually taking possession of buying or distributing the commodity. Rather, day trader make money on the price fluctuation that occur after taking a trade by means of a cash settlement agreement. So there is a cash settlement which will take place if X thinks that yes, the price will shoot up from 200 to 250, then he is gaining 50, and this 50 he will get from Y. So the X is gaining 50 rupees and the Y is losing 50 rupees. So Y will give X rupees 50. Alright, So don't think that if the X is anticipating that the price will shoot up, then Y is also thinking the same. In futures market, what is happening, that there are two counterparties. One is thinking in the different way and the another is thinking in a totally different way. Y is thinking that the price will go down from 200 to say 150. So there is not like a win-win situation for both of them. One of them is going to lose. So here money will exchange hands instead of goods. So in our example, cereals won't be exchanged, but the cash flow which would take place of 50 will be exchanged, depend upon the actual price after 3 months. So future contract can be traded on a future exchange like Chicago Mercantile Exchange or Intercontinental Exchange. As I told you, there is the involvement of exchange. So there are three parties: buyer, seller and exchange, if we think broadly. Now we are going to learn about forwards. So forwards is somewhat similar to future, but the thing is, forward is over the counter. In previous video, I have already discussed about the over the counter derivatives. If you don't know about this, then please watch previous video. It is just hardly 5 minutes video. So what is a forward contract? A forward is a customized contract between two parties to buy or sell an asset at a specified price on a future date. So you can find that yes, the definition is somewhat similar because the concept is also somewhat similar. The thing is, there is no involvement of exchange. Alright. So what are the features of forward contract? Forward contract do not trade on a centralized exchange like Intercontinental Exchange in case of futures contract, and therefore regarded as over the counter instrument. So what is over the counter instruments? Over the counter instrument are those instruments which don't trade on exchange, and these instruments are customizable in nature. So the lack of centralized clearing house also gives rise to a high degree of default risk, which is called counterparty risk. Alright, so there is no involvement of exchange, there is no involvement of a particular kind of, a central counterparty is not involved. That's why there is a counterparty risk. So now we are going to learn about the options. So what is option? An option gives an investor the right but not the obligation to buy or sell an underlying asset at an agreed upon price and date. So let me give you an example in somewhat similar terms. For example, think about it in this way. So there is a commodity, say X. So this is the asset, and there is a so there is a person Z, and the person is thinking that he wants to buy the commodity X, but the thing is he don't want to invest the full amount, or he doesn't want to pay full cost of say rupees 200. So what he is trying to do, he will think of an option contract. He wants the right to buy commodity X after 3 months, but he doesn't want to pay the full amount right now. Maybe he wants to lock the position that yes, he wants to he wants to buy the leverage about buying 200 at this price only, but the cost right now that he has to pay is rupees 20 say, and this 20 is the option premium. So what the seller is doing, he is selling the call option. This is called call option. So in call option, what he is doing, he is selling the right to buy the particular commodity which is X at a price at a certain price which is 200, and there is the price involvement also which the Z has to pay today, which is rupees 20. So this is the option premium, or more precisely call option premium, and this is about the call option. Similarly, there can be the case that if we think in this way, that the seller is thinking that the price will fall. So what the seller is thinking? He is thinking that the price will fall, suppose 180, but he wants to sell this commodity at rupees 200. So what he will do? He will enter into the put option contract with another counterparty, say again Z, and he is enter into the put option contract. So person Z is selling the put option contract. What is put option contract? Right to sell the underlying asset, which is X, at particular price, which is 200. Now here, who is the buyer of the option? This seller is the buyer of the option. In previous case, the person Z is the buyer of the option, but right now this is the seller who is thinking that the price will go down and he wants to lock his position at rupees 200. So what he is trying to do? He will enter into the put option contract at say rupees 20. Now this premium amount will be called put option premium. So it doesn't give an obligation to seller. Suppose the actual price after 3 months, say rupees 250. So then why would a seller want to exercise this option? Why would he want to sell the commodity at 200 to person Z? So trying to understand the concept between the futures or forwards and option. If this is a future contract, then seller would have to sell the commodity at rupees 200. But right now he is in an option contract, so it is not an obligation for the seller to sell this at rupees 200 to person Z. Ultimately, he would be incurring a notional loss of 50. So he would like to sell this commodity at market rather than exercising the option. Right now I am not taking into consideration the option premium, but just understand what I am telling you about the concept. So this is the wholesome concept of option. So let's get into the definition. What is call option? A right to buy an underlying asset at an agreed price, which is called strike price. So that in that way, there is a commodity X and the seller was trying to sell it at rupees 200. So that 200 was a strike price at the cost, which is called call premium, which was 20, and the put option, a right to sell an underlying asset at an agreed price, which is called strike price at the cost, which is called put premium. So this is on the basis of features. There are two types of options, and on the basis of maturity there are two types: American option and European option. In American option, the option can be exercised at any time between the purchase and the expiration date. Suppose today, let's get into that example again. There is a seller and there is a buyer, and that buyer was Z. So today he is entering into the contract for 3 months. If this is an American option, then that delivery or that settlement can take place at any time. It could be like 1 month, it could be like 2 months. So it depends on the contract to contract basis. But what in European option? In European option, which are less common, can only be exercised on the expiration date. So if they enter into the contract, then seller could sell that X commodity to Z after 3 months only. So this is about the American and European option. So this is an option trading platform that it looks like. So there is a theta, vega, gamma. So these are the option Greeks. In advanced level of videos, I will discuss about option Greeks, exotic options, option pricing models in very much detail. So we will cover this, don't worry about it. Right now I just want to give you a concept about how the option trading platform looks like. So there is a strike price. So in our example it was 200. So there are different types of contract, and the seller or buyer wants to sell or buy the commodity at say 170, 175, 180 and so on. So let's get into the swaps. So what is swap? Swap is a derivative contract through which two parties exchange the cash flows or liabilities from two different financial instruments. So let me try to give you an example about swaps. Suppose there is a company ABC Limited and the company wants fixed floating interest rate, say 5%. But another company, say XYZ Limited, wants floating rate, and that floating rate could be like LIBOR. But both of them have comparative advantage in different rates. Don't come into the comparative advantage right now, just let me give you an example. What is comparative advantage here means that comparative advantage means what is good for both of them at when they enter into the market, what is good for both of them when they want to borrow from the market directly. So that is somewhat like comparative advantage. I will explain about comparative advantage also when we get into the swaps. So right now just try to understand the concept only. So it means ABC Limited has a comparative advantage in floating rate. Suppose that ABC Limited will get a good amount of return from floating rate, say LIBOR minus 1%, and XYZ Limited has a fixed rate, again fixed rate, but it could be like anything, like X%, it could be like anything. So they will swap each other's cash flows. How will that swap take place? That ABC Limited will enter into a swap agreement that yes, and contact XYZ that yes, I want fixed floating interest rate, but from market what I am getting is the ABC Limited was getting floating rate. So ABC Limited was getting, so there is ABC Limited, he is getting floating rate but he wants to give fixed rate, and there is XYZ, he wants to give floating rate, but what comparative advantage he is getting in the market? Fixed rate. So he is getting comparative advantage at fixed rate, but he wants to give floating rate. So this is how swap agreement takes place. In swap agreement, what they are doing, they are just exchanging the cash flows. What does swap mean? Swap means exchanging something. So here what they are doing, they are exchanging the two kind of cash flows between each other so that they can get the benefit. Still now, if you don't understand about the swaps, then don't worry about it. You can mention it down in the comment section below and I will answer all your queries about it. And also in upcoming videos I will discuss about options, swaps, future, FRAs in detail. So I hope that you liked today's video. If you have any doubt regarding any topic, it could be any topic, any article related to finance, so you can post it down in the comment section and I would love to answer them. Thank you very much for your time.